A Long Island man is facing murder charges in connection to New York's infamous Gilgo Beach serial case. Suffolk County's court documents show Rex Howerman is facing 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of second-degree murder. He's accused of killing Melissa Barthelme, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello between July of 2009 and September of 2010. Howerman was arrested last night and arraigned this afternoon. Officials say the body of Maureen Baynard Barnes was also found with the other 3 victims. However, Howerman is not facing charges in connection to her death at this time.
For more, let's bring in CBS News correspondent Michael George. Michael, what can you tell us about what happened in the courtroom today?
Well, Lana, for more than 10 years, this has been one of the most notorious unsolved serial murder cases on the East Coast. Finally, this is the break that law enforcement waiting for, the arrest of Rex Howerman. We're learning some more details about exactly what led them to this suspect after more than 10 years. But just to give you a little background, where we are right now, Gilgo Beach, this is where the first victim's body was discovered in a burlap bag more than 10 years ago. And then after that, police started finding more and more bodies, at least 10 victims that we know of. But for 10 years, no major break in the case. That all ended in the last 24 hours with the arrest of Rex Howerman. We do expect him to appear in court on 6 counts of murder shortly, and a lot more details to come about how they actually tracked him down. One thing that we do know, the clinching piece of evidence, a discarded pizza box that investigators took and linked DNA evidence to him. So we're awaiting some more details, but that is one of the key pieces that finally led to this arrest.
Wow.
That is a fascinating detail, Michael George. Talk to us more about last night's arrest. What else have you learned about what investigators were looking for on the property? What led them there?
Well, early indications from court documents is they've been looking at Howerman for some time now. We don't, again, know what it was that initially triggered that, but they visited his home, which is about 20 miles from here, where some of the bodies were discovered. It's about a 20-minute drive in Massapequa Park, a small red home in a quiet neighborhood, very unassuming. And what police say they discovered there were burner cell phones, some of which included details of calls that he allegedly made to some of his victims' family members after the murders. So they say that they found several pieces of critical evidence at his home, and that was part of the investigation. Police are still at that home right now, even as he's awaiting facing a judge in court.
It just gets more strange as you kind of lay out what's happened. I mean, I know for people in this part of New York, this part of the country, this has just shaken them to the core. Not only that there have been so many deaths and missing people, but that whoever may be behind it was still out there. What type of reaction are we hearing from the victims' families and even the community as we all learn more today?
Well, Errol, I can tell you that anybody who lives in this neighborhood here on Long Island, they've been aware of these murders for many, many years, but very few people expected that the killer would be found in such a quiet, unassuming neighborhood. Of course, it can happen anywhere, but neighbors are saying that they are shocked. Here's what we know about this suspect. He's an architect who works in Midtown Manhattan. He's a husband and a father to 2 children. So again, as we're learning more and more details about the suspect, what we're hearing from neighbors is shock. What we're hearing from the victims' families is tremendous relief that after 10 years and the possibility that they had considered that this case would never be solved, they are hopeful that this is finally the resolution they've been waiting for.
Oh, wow. Michael George, a lot of very stunning new developments. Thank you.
Now we turn to Pat Milton, the senior producer for CBS News' investigative unit. Pat, you also have been someone following every twist and turn of this case for quite a long time. We just heard some details about this suspect, but we understand he's facing 2 different types of murder charges in connection with all these deaths, or at least the deaths of 3 women, for a total of 6 counts. Just talk to us about the difference between the charges he's facing and why.
Well, Errol, yes, Michael's report was just fascinating. We are hearing right now, though, that he did face a judge in Suffolk County and pled not guilty to the charges against him, and that he was ordered held without bail at the request of the Suffolk County prosecutor. We did recently learn, too, that he was arrested in Manhattan late last night. He has an office, an architect's office in Manhattan, and he was arrested nearby, not at his home in Massapequa Park. But police, state police, Suffolk police, FBI did have a raid on his home. And interesting enough, his home is right across the bay from where Gilgo Beach is, where the remains of many of these women were found. We have learned, too, recently, as Michael just pointed out, that he is charged with the murders of 3 of the women. He's a suspect in one other. And we don't know whether he will be connected to any of the other 10 women that have been killed. And part of this unsolved murders in the last decade.
Yeah.
They've been trying to solve this puzzle.
10 women whose remains have been found in this area. We had heard from Aaron earlier that 4 of them believed to all have been having earmarks of potentially having the same perpetrator. When you say one other, I'm assuming that's Maureen Brainerd Barnes that you're referencing. Why are we not seeing charges in connection to her death?
Well, for some reason, the district attorney has chosen at this time not to charge him with, that particular murder. But we will find out more. The district attorney is having a news conference at 4, and hopefully we'll get more details on that. Just to add to what Michael had so described so well in detail, that one of the evidence that the police were looking at is that a pickup truck was seen in the area by a witness. And early on, they had told police about this pickup truck. And I think that what police are telling us is that they kind of went backwards then from the pickup truck. And then, as Michael just so fascinatingly described, the pizza box, getting the DNA, then getting a burner phone, realizing that he had made several calls to the victims and to the victim's sister on this burner phone.
All of that sounds like incredible police work, connecting each dot here to make this case. I can remember, we just saw some file footage from 2010. I remember back in 2020, the police were releasing an image of something on a belt, an emblem on a belt they found near the scene of the crime. I'm wondering, was Howman someone who was on investigators' radar? And if not, were they looking for someone who may be a resident in the area? I know that at that time, they knew it was someone who knew the topography and that bodies could be hidden in the brush. What profile were they working on?
Yeah, I'm really not sure, Errol, what they were looking at. It was just such a puzzling mystery. And what had happened is one of the victims was reported missing by family members, and that what sparked the Suffolk County Police Department to go search for her. And in searching for her with cadaver dogs and with police, they came across 4 bodies, which they call the Gilgo 4. The bodies, the remains of 4 other women other than Shannon Gilney. So, but they did eventually find her remains too.
All right, Pat Milton
I might add, though, that the Suffolk DA and the new police commissioner out in Suffolk County formed a task force about a year ago to just determine to find out what happened here. And FBI also joined in the task force, and it was the result of this investigation by the task force that resulted in the arrest of Mr. Harrison.
It's interesting that it took so long, and then as you reported, there was this change, and now we have a suspect under arrest. All right, Pat Milton, thank you for your excellent reporting. We're going to continue to check in with you, and we will have much more at 4 p.m. when we hear from police and investigators.